Throughout history, many monster stories have been told to us, but among them, there is one that stands out as the most famous and the most terrifying: vampires. Although they have been known by different names in every culture for centuries, the fear they evoke has always been the same. So what is the truth behind these immortal beings that feed on blood? Today, we take a deep dive into the legend of vampires and the mysteries surrounding them. A vampire is a mythological creature believed to rise from its grave between sunset and dawn, attack humans, and drink their blood. The concept of vampires dates back to ancient Babylonian examples and has been the subject of extensive folkloric and historical research examining its evolution over centuries. Legends of blood drinking and resurrection spread widely during the Middle Ages. In the 1200s, a Welsh cleric in England named Walter Map claimed that a vampire had killed an entire village by draining the blood of its inhabitants. According to Map, the last surviving villager drew his sword and split the head of the bloodthirsty creature in two, ending the threat. This fear was not limited to Europe. From spirits attacking sleeping women in the dark nights of India, to female vampires in the tales of 1001 Nights, from the Bau belief of the Dayak tribe on the island of Borneo to ancient Sanskrit texts. The names change, but the thirst for blood has transcended geography for thousands of years. Even the origin of the word vampire remains a mystery. Does it come from Serbian, Polish, or ancient Turkic? According to the great thinker Voltaire, the real bloodsuckers were not in graves, but among stock market speculators who drained the lifeblood of the people. Karl Marx, on the other hand, likened capital to a vampire that survives by sucking living labor. In literature, this journey began with Sheridan Le Fanu's Carmilla and turned into a legend with Bram Stoker's Dracula. In cinema, vampires evolved from horrifying monsters into tragic lovers and even modern-day heroes. From a scientific perspective, vampires have also been examined. According to research by Wayne Tikkanen, a chemistry professor at the University of California, the root of vampirism may lie in a disease called porphyria. In the 1700s, Europeans who lacked knowledge about this illness labeled sufferers as vampires and cursed them. Porphyria, a type of blood disorder, causes the skin to become highly sensitive to ultraviolet light, leading it to darken. Tikkanen explained, abnormal hair growth appears, the lips shrink and recede, exposing the teeth. The patient suffers greatly and eventually goes mad. He also noted that due to skin sensitivity, patients could only go out at night and, for treatment, sometimes consumed animal blood. This, he said, explains why vampires in stories go out at night and drink blood. However, other scientific sources approach the idea that porphyria gave rise to vampire legends with skepticism. At one point in history, people even conducted vampire hunts. In the late 1800s, a real vampire panic occurred in the heart of America. During a tuberculosis outbreak, people believed that deceased family members were rising from their graves and draining the energy of the living. In Rhode Island, when the grave of a young woman named Mercy Brown was opened months after her death, her body showed little decomposition and fresh blood was found in her heart. Terrified villagers burned her heart and fed the ashes to her brother. While science explains this with the effects of cold soil, witnesses of the time claimed it was supernatural preservation, and that belief was enough to instill deep fear. The vampire outbreaks of the 1700s also coincided with rabies epidemics in the same regions. Mysterious detail. A person with rabies fears water and avoids mirrors or reflective surfaces, is sensitive to light, becomes aggressive, and tends to bite others. Most strikingly, rabies affects the nervous system, causing insomnia and nocturnal wandering. Could many historical vampire attacks actually have been cases of rabies? So, what do you think? Are vampires merely metaphors? Or could beings with those unusual traits described by scientists really exist among us? Have you ever met someone with faint dimples on their face and eyes that seem to constantly change color? Let's meet in the comments. See you in the next mystery.